Okay.
That one's just going to stay on forever. Samsung, isn't it? It's off grid.
Off the fucking grid, aren't you?
Off the fucking grid. Anyway,
go on.
So thanks very much for doing this, ladies and gents. Mr. Andy Collinson.
Hi.
Hi. As you may or may not know, I've been doing podcasts, and last week we saw Mr. Stephen Stretch Harmon.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh, he came down to the school. He was talking.
Did he?
Yeah.
See, Steve, you have to go to his school. Tom comes to me. That's the way it rolls. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. He meant that out.
He mentioned you a couple of times actually.
Did he?
Yeah. I can't remember what he was saying, but anyway. Well, how I want to start is not a lot of people know this. Obviously, you know this. Not a lot of you know this, but when I started bartending, Flair bartending, I used to come and sit on Andy's station. Ah.
Yes. What can I get you? What can I get you? Yeah. You. What's that? Yeah. Excuse me, mate.
And I used to just get ignored. Exactly. I think
you did, but yeah. A long time ago.
I've told you this story as well, but there was one time when I walked in and I was like, it's my birthday today, and I got my ID out, and I showed you my ID, and I was like 19 or something, and at those days you had to be 21 to get into Roadhouse.
Yeah, right, okay.
And you were like, don't show me no ID because I have to kick you out otherwise. Like,
did I?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the good positive kind of vibes that we gave across.
Put your ID away, you little shit.
Exactly. Look at fuck you fucking birthday. You know what I mean? Fuck you got me 21, get out.
Where did you start your bartending career?
Okay, right. Bartending career.
Tenerife, wasn't it?
It was Tenerife. I mean, in fact, when I was a kid, when I was like 14, I used to glass collect when my dad was a DJ in a nightclub.
Oh, yeah?
And I suppose my first ever thing that I ever worked in seeing a nightclub or a bar was when I was, he got me a job on a Saturday night, so I had a bit of money, I think I was 14 or something. I don't know if that's actually legal.
Probably not.
Was it 14, 15? No, maybe 15, 16. Anyway, but glass collecting, and I think I only did it for a few months, but it was, I fucking remember it being hard work, like fucking graft, and being bollocked by the manager of the place. And at times I felt like saying, I'm fucking dad's over there. But no, so that was my first ever time that I'd ever worked or stepped behind the bar and realised it was hard work. And then I think I got into the rave scene, and there was a bit of a blank, so a number of years. But I know they were good.
Travelling to raves in the back of cars or something.
Travelling to the raves in the back of cars. Don't do that, kids. But yeah, the rave scene was fantastic. That was 92, 93, 94, fucking just...
I was 12.
Just great. It was good times. Then, of course, I'm just taking a bit of a diversion. Raves, exactly. And then, I suppose bartending was when I went to Tenerife. And I'd come out of the rave era, as it were, and thought, right, okay, what do I want to do something? I've been to college. I've got my, I passed my HND. Would say degree.
What's a HND?
It's a higher national diploma. It's what you do. You do once you've done your A levels, you can do a HND, and then after that, you can do another 3 years. You get a degree. So I did my A levels. I then did my HND, which was for 2 years of professional sound media technology, to then go and do another 3 years of it. I mean, balls to that. I'm fucking, I need to do something else. Then I started do whatever I did, selling timeshare of all things. That's how I ended up in Tenerife. Pull it back to bartending. Got to Tenerife, started bartending. So about 96, 97.
But wasn't the story that you was working on the streets trying to get people into the bars?
Yeah.
Your first Flair was with water bottle, right?
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah. Fuck yeah. That's a cool story. So in Tenerife, go to Tenerife. I didn't actually want to be a bartender at that point because.
Who really wants to be a bartender?
I was like, I was probably thinking back to the times I was 14, 15 and stacking glassware and thinking, what am I doing? I want to be a PR on the street because everybody knows that's what you talk to the ladies. Again, cut that out. So I was as a PR outside the bars and the nightclubs in Tenerife and just giving it the large. And that's when I started flipping a water bottle, way ahead of everyone's time doing the stalls. And I would actually just have a water bottle and I'd be flipping it around and stuff like that. Because The bar that I PR'd outside had the Gran Canarian champion of the Martini Grand Prix competitions, which some of you might remember. They were quite big in and around Spain and stuff like that. I don't know if it was IBA, but it's called the Martini Grand Prix.
Right.
These competitions.
Yeah.
The owner of the bar, I can't remember his name, Louis. Was the Canarian champion, and I was like, oh, fucking hell, this guy's all right, you know, look at him go. And he used to flare with, he'd do like a show, but with 2 full bottles with caps on. There were no pour spouts because of the Spanish style of take the cap off. You've got some kind of shit thing on there which you try and bash around to try and pour out of. He had those on, and he used to flare out that, boom, bouncing full bottles.
Was it like one of those sort of round the fingers, round the thumb, and then like flip, and then flip?
Exactly like that.
Really quick.
But what he did, which was fucking super impressive, and I've never seen anyone do as well to this day, is his ice cube flare. And
really?
His ice cube flare, and he didn't use a scoop, he used a pincer.
Oof.
A pincer.
That'd be tongs.
Tongs.
The new generation.
Pincers. He then got rid of the pincers and he started using tongs. You know. Tongs. And so he had these pincers.
Lobster pincers.
So he had these tongs, and he'd do ice cube flare. And it'd be great because they didn't have proper stations. This was a bar in Tenerife. The proper stations were down the road in Harley's, which we'll get to. Oof. But this bar, he had an ice bucket with just these ice in big, super huge ice cubes as well, which probably made it a little bit easier. And he'd straight out of the ice bucket, bang, bang, and he'd juggle with the ice, with the tongs, catching them, boom, boom, boom.
Wow.
Fucking hell. And boom, 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 then straight into Slim Jims glassware. And one ice cube would fill up, you know. You remember the Spanish ice cubes? Probably still
you literally put a shot in there and the glass is full because of the ice.
Yeah, exactly. But it you know, great nowadays. All the fucking high-end bars across the world, big craft ice, we were just ahead of our game when I was there. So anyway, and he'd throw the ice in, but he'd do a really cool thing with a brandy balloon. And he'd hold it in his hand like this. And the brandy balloon, bear in mind, this is a glass, you know, brandy balloon. And he'd get the ice and with his scoop and juggle it, and then catch them in there. And I'm thinking, I didn't think about big ice cubes. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, nowadays I'm thinking, shit, if that just hits the side, that's going to shard, go straight in your eye. Never happened, but he'd do it, bam, 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 and catch them in this brandy balloon.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I'd be really, really impressed. And not Louis, his name was Frankie.
Frankie.
Oh,
good old Frankie.
Do you remember me,
Frankie?
Yeah. So obviously I didn't remember him because I don't remember his fucking name. But he used to do that, and that's when I kind of, this is pretty cool.
So he was, he was against Mig, who was obviously known as the guy.
Ice Cube Flair. He was better than Mig.
Better than Mig.
Sorry, Mig. He was better at Mig with
tongs.
With tongs. He didn't do it with a scoop.
Yeah.
Obviously, Mig was with the scoop would fantastic. But tongs, to this day, I've not seen anyone as good as him.
I've tried to juggle with ice cubes and tongs. It's really hard. I think my best has been three like throw, catch, throw, catch, and the
he caught them like that. He didn't do it like that way. It was
wow.
So he'd like it on like that. Pincers again, like that, doing it. And then I suppose after that, then we kind of ventured down the road and came across Harley's. And Harley's was where I first met Paul Evans.
Paul Evans,
Littles. So me and Paul, as you know, but the people at home don't. Me and Paul used to work together at the Roadhouse. When I started at the Roadhouse in '99, I'd already met Paul from Tenerife. Didn't overly know him in Tenerife, but we'd met and whatever else. So Paul's an old Roadhouse bartender, head bartender at Roadhouse, what I say. But that's where I first came across something that was like, there was a point when you go, I want to be able to do that. Yeah. I was amazed by Frankie and all his shit was doing. Yes, all great. But there's a point when I just went, fuck, I've got to learn how to do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Some people just make it look really cool, don't they?
And it was Paul Evans.
Yeah.
I've told you this, haven't I? It was Paul Evans.
I'm not sure if you have, actually.
And I was at the bar at Harley's, and he was just filling up a soda glass, whatever, lime, or was it Coke, whatever, blah blah. Threw the full drink, caught it behind his back, and I was sat at the bar, and I was like, fucking cool. You know what I mean? You sexy Essex-looking bastard throwing full drinks behind your back. I was like, oh god, and I still remember it as a defiant. I was like, I've got to do this.
And you're out the front because you thought that's where all the ladies. You got to talk to the ladies there, but
go back to that story. That's when I was the PR the thing, and that's when I was Frankie's doing these things. Okay, that's great. Then I'd seen Paul do his stuff, and when we were doing the PRing of it, it was almost like, okay, yay, hey, let us come to the bar, and then get Paul. And get all the other bartenders. Fantastic. Go back up the street with my water bottle. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, that was I suppose my first introduction into bartending, and definitely the key point that I still remember to this day of who it was, which is quite cool because when I came back from Tenerife, and I was like, right, okay, gonna be a bartender. Moved back to Manchester, hometown, all that. And got a bar and got a job at Henry's. Henry's on
the restaurant.
Yeah, Henry's Cafe Bar. There used to be one in London, Piccadilly, and all that kind of stuff. And got a job there. Worked there for a few months. Met Phil Yates.
Oh yeah.
That's where I met Phil Yates. Phil Yates' dad was the general manager. Phil had just left, I think, and would moved to a bar in Wilmslow or something, but he kept coming in. And so I met Neil Lowry. Me and him started on the same day.
Wow.
At Henry's in Manchester. He was 2 years younger than me. He was 16, so he was only allowed to work certain days or something. But
no one gave a shit.
No one really wanted to tell Neil that he couldn't do what he wanted to do. So yeah, it's fucking fine. Go for it. So me and him started on the same day, and then I spoke with Phil quite a bit. He used to come and see his dad, and he was like, hey. You know, we got on. You know, we were just having a good time together, and it was great. I still remember one of my first shifts on the bar at Henry's, where at that point I'd worked in Tenerife and I'd done the stuff over there, kind of thing, but it was not essentially a professional setup. You know, and Henry's was probably the first professional bar setup that I went into.
Kind of like the American bar system, right? Ice well, speeder, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Jez, who was one of the managers, one of the old trainers at Squares, who taught us some stuff, basic stuff that you just take as read nowadays. And it was my first introduction into it. And I said, right, okay. So it was all free pouring and cups and simple glass behind the back and all that kind of stuff. And he and I still remember did the Henry's thing and having one of my first busy Saturday nights and officially knowing the term of in the weeds, and living the weeds moment of thinking, I know this shit, and then all of a sudden being absconded by Saturday night Manchester crowd going, come on mate, it's what we are. Come on now. And I'm just like, and I was amazed by the other bartenders around me. I was like, whoa. So it was another step in your learning process. Yeah. So first I learned, hey, Flair, ooh, look at that, it looks really cool. Didn't, really train to be a bartender properly in Tenerife, and I was doing it. Came back to England, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And then I had my eyes open to multi-ordering, 3 deep at the bar, controlling your station.
Which is, in some ways, when you see that from a bartender, it's like...
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Super amazing.
You've got to have that skill set. You really have got to have that skill set. Because there's one thing that I suppose it's one of those things that you always think about. You never want someone to look at you and go, you're shit. You don't want any... You don't want that. And unfortunately, as a bartender, you've got that potential every single night and every single second of service. Those customers could look at you and just go, you're shit. You're not very good at what you do. No one wants that.
Especially if you're a Flair bartender, which I think why they get such a bad rep, because you drop it once, you're shit.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And because if you're going to be a bartender and you're going to do Flair, and you're going to hold your station, which you have to have a certain amount of arrogance here. You know, you're going to be super cool with your guests at the same time, but equally you're going to have guests that are going to be like, you're a dick, and not like you, just because you're the centre of attention, and they're not going to like that,
right.
You know, and that's their problem, it's not yours, but you are going to have that, you know. So every second you could be at some point, someone go, you're a dick, you know, or make you feel like you're a dick, and you don't want that. You don't want that at all. And that can happen big time if you're in the weeds, you know. You don't want to be in the weeds because everyone's just going to go, mate, do you actually know what you're doing? And you're like, yes, I'm very good at this. So that was my first thing of being in the weeds, which I hated, and I thought I never want to be in the weeds again. I've got to control. I've got to be good at this. And Phil Yates said, hey, do you want to come down to London and work in a bar called the Roadhouse? Never heard of it. Like, whatever, yeah, let's move down to London. They was actually going to they wanted to train me to be management within Henry's and, you know, go on the management thing, which I always said when I said it to my mum, when I said, of course, when I'd done all my education and stuff, they turned around and said,
I'm done on my education.
I've done all my education now. I'm fucking educated, bruv.
Yeah, but I'm going to be a manager.
I'm going to be a bartender. They love that.
Exactly.
They love that. I mean, I had a good education. I went to grammar school, you know, so I did that. I went away and did my, did my A-levels, then did H&D, professional sound, and they were like, oh, right, okay.
Sorry, what did you study in the A-levels?
Maths, design, and technology and art.
What about, you did sound or something in university?
Yeah. I did that after my A-levels.
Right, sorry.
Yeah. So as it got to that, and then when I went to Tenerife, and they were like, oh, okay, what are you doing? They were like, oh, you've just got to get out of your system, you know. He'll be fine, he's going to come back and get a proper job.
That's what my parents said as well.
Yeah. And then I came back and then went to work in Manchester and Henry's, and then they went, okay, we're going to put you forward for management. And I said to them, oh yeah, they want to do, oh right on. They're thinking, okay, maybe he's got a career choice here, you know. And then I went, I'm fucking moving to London. What are you going to be in London? I'm going to be a fucking bartender. So I went to, I went down to Roadhouse for an interview. Lee Curtis interviewed me. This was the summer of '99, July, I think, some shit like that. Went down there, interviewed, went out for the night before. Went out the night before the interview with Phil Yates.
As you do.
Yeah, didn't get much sleep. Then went for the interview with Lee Curtis, who was just going, what's you in this job? You any good to work down here? You know, giving it typical, you know, Cockney stuff. Me being a northern monkey.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I think all Southerners hate Northerners, and Northerners are kind of, they don't understand this. They go, oh, what? It's like, no. Anyway, so got the job anyway, did the trial shift, and that's when I really learned how to bartend.
Was that back when you had to do pour tests, recipe tests? Did you have to do
that? They're still doing it nowadays.
I mean, they still do it, but you have to do it then as well.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Do your pour test. If you do your
this is after you've got through the interview.
Once you've got through the interview and they think you're all right, and go, okay, you've got enough about you.
Yeah.
Because you have to have personality as a bartender. In particularly bars like Roadhouse, you know, and things like that, where there's a lot of customer interaction, you have to handle your station. You have to have a bit of personality. You have to have something about you. And you can train someone how to pour drinks. You can't train someone to have a personality.
Sure.
You know, so that's super, super important.
This is great, considering I didn't even get past the interview stage when I went to Roadhouse.
You fucking, you had no chance.
The bar manager, Chris Spencer at the time, went, yeah, I don't think this is the bar for you, actually. Like, maybe in the future.
But he probably saved your life.
He did.
Anyway, he did. We'll get to that. Fucking hell. I thought we were only going to do this for an hour. We're going to have ages here. Oh! Okay, it's me going on one. Took all that coffee. Started at Roadhouse. Got the job at Roadhouse. Wasn't the best at all. Was a bit intimidated for the fucking people that were around me. You know, because these were Alec Johnson. It was Martin Ramos. It was Paul Evans. It was Kiwi Neal. It was Ray Blade. Andy Francis. Fucking Andy Francis.
Fluffy. Vicky. Fluffy.
No. Stefan. Vicky came after. Stefan after. All of those boys after. There was Ben. Ben Martin. That wasn't there at that point. Anyway, and I still remember my trial shift when I came in for my trial shift. So yeah, pour test. You have to do your pour test. Pass your pour test. If you pass your pour test, you have to do your recipe test. Do your recipe test. You pass your recipe test. Congratulations, you get to go on the bar. Before you go on the bar, you have to go and buy a fucking £25 leather waistcoat and a £40 leather apron.
You haven't got the job yet.
You haven't got the fucking job yet.
Spend some money.
But you got to spend some money. You want this job? You got to make sure. So you have to go and buy that shit. Then you get on the bar, and then you get put in a busy station, and then it's, hey, let's see if you've got the minerals to do this, and you don't really know the tills. You've been shown the tills very quickly, and you're like, okay, I think you get it. You know, brilliant. Just let's go. And then that's it. And then your trial shift. And I remember my trial shift was. Wasn't the fucking greatest because looking back in it, it never was because you know what you need to do.
But it's about surviving that night.
Fucking surviving, and I remember
not going off the bar crying, right? Basically,
fucking do that. There was one woman, and I think it's just come back to me that possibly because I don't think Lee wanted to give me the job. I don't think I was that great, you know. I certainly wasn't, you know. I probably wouldn't have employed me at that point, you know. Fucking hell. So, but there was one woman, the one thing that I always try to do behind the bar whenever you meet people, smile, you know, give people a good night. As a bartender, you're not only there to make great drinks, Angus Winchester said this, it's about making people feel great about the drinks, you know.
Sure.
It's not about making great drinks, people great about the drinks. It's a great saying.
Really?
Because, you know, those people, particularly Roadhouse, hey, fucking Jack and Cokes, vodka Coke, bottles of beer, they want a big smile, they want to be served quickly, and they just want to feel like they're having a good time and having good entertainment. And I just remember there was one woman who, and Lee was like, on the station, like, and this woman went, is that your manager? And I says, yeah, it is. Come here. Said, he is fantastic. He's been great all night, smiling, super friendly, really, really great. And he went, thanks very much. I'm thinking, going to find it very hard to tell him that he can't have the job now.
Was that your mum saying that?
Yeah! It's probably your mum.
Oh!
Probably was. Well, anyway, so I got the job. I got the job on it, but the people that I was working with and the standard of bartending from what I was used to was the next level up.
Sure.
You know, these guys just knew what it took to work in a big volume bar with style.
Arguably, Point was possibly one of the busiest stations in Europe.
Yeah.
In terms of the amount of drinks that you had to, I mean, what was the average sales that you pump out?
5-6 grand on your tills.
Which back then was a lot of money.
It's a lot when you're considering that your happy hours that used to be there, it was £2.90 a cocktail in happy hour, 2 for 1. So you get fucking 2 cocktails for £2.90 from 5 till 7, you know, and you would be fucking slammed. You'd rack up your bar with just glass, and you'd be, I don't know, 40 fucking glasses. You're making Long Islands in blender cups and stuff, and you just, anyone asks for a fucking daiquiri, you'd be like, fuck off. You'd be like, sorry, the blenders are down, you can't have one. Ooh.
The blenders are down.
The blenders are down. I still remember Yatesy being given an order for 52 B52s. And he went, right, so just 26. And he went, no, 52. So I get 104. And he went, oh. And he fucking layered them all in happy hour. And he layered, and the bar's busy as fuck. And first of all, you have to get 104 shot glasses together, which are not readily available on a bar. Then you've got to layer all the bastards. And Jesus, I mean, I think we kicked the guy out because he didn't tip as well. So yeah, it was an insanely busy bar where I learned my style of bartending, which I still like. Completely cut my teeth on it.
Yeah.
And learned so much. You know, learned so much. I'm still a messy bartender. You know, I'm still shit when it comes to doing breakdowns. Yeah. Fucking hell, mate. I mean, I haven't tended bar in quite a while, but I still like to do it. But it's where I really, really fell in love with bartending. I mean, you'd go for a break, for your dinner break, I'd jump off the bar, I'd eat my food as quickly as possible and run back to that bar because I want to start service again. I want to get that buzz back.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't about, oh, moaning. I'd fucking serve all night long. I'd be in there early to get my station.
Yeah.
So you'd be, afterwards they used to allocate stations, but I'd get in early and went, what station 4? It's my station, or station 3, whatever I wanted to, because I thought, I'm going to do that. I'll set it up. I'll make sure everything's on point. I'll count my till. I want to get zeros on my till.
Yeah.
Not take, as in you want to get it accurate. Because of course, do your till, take it into the cashier. Anything that you're out, you have to pay. So if you're 10 up, 10 down, whatever, you've got to pay that.
Wow.
So I wanted to get zeros on it, so you call it spectacles.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that everyone that came in got served properly, had a good night and all. I took extreme pride in what we did. And, you know, obviously you flared when you were doing it.
Sure.
But it wasn't exhibition, let's do a thing. It was cool, slick manoeuvres, high cuts, pause quickly, just a few elbow stalls.
Coming out,
stabilisers. You know.
And you had one of your own moves as well, right?
I did have one of my own moves as well. I can't do it because I get any eyes.
I've probably got it on video, which hopefully you can see now, because you might have it on video somewhere.
Have you?
Yeah. So
really?
No, not you doing it. Probably somebody else doing it. Probably me.
Probably you doing it. That'd be good.
That was roughly when I started getting into bartending, and as we started the podcast, is when I turned up to Roadhouse and was that little kid on the bar.
But I mean, this is going to sound really fucking big-headed, but fuck it.
Fuck it. Go for it.
We were. At that time, we were fucking super badass.
Yeah.
And but there weren't a lot of bars in London that were doing what you call professional bartending at that point.
Yeah.
You know, you got to. This is '99. Yes, of course there were professional bars out there, but not that many of them.
Not that style, that volume, that amount of flair, that energy, that vibe. I mean, it was.
So we would get a lot of industry coming in, sitting in our stations. You know, watching us fucking bartend. All the guys from Chiquitos and Leicester Square, they'd come in every night and just sit and watch, you know, you bartend basically. And of course,
when I got let in.
When they kick you out for not being under 21, fuck off.
No, I tried to come in one time with my friends, and I put on a suit jacket and trousers and shoes, and I've walked up, oh mate, can I come in? Like that, and they're like, no, not tonight, mate. And this is from North London, so it's taken me an hour and a half to get there.
Shit. Right, yeah.
And I don't want to go anywhere else. I don't think we went anywhere else. I was just like,
it was the place.
That was it. But I didn't get in, didn't get the job there. Surprised they even ended up fucking competing there at the end of the day.
But you did come back and go, well, stick it at your arse. I am going to win all your competitions instead. So,
well, that was it. When Chris said to me, he goes,
"Can I swear on this podcast?"
Yeah, well, you have done already. So
yeah, you can edit it out, can't you?
It's fine. I don't put any monetization on it or anything like that. You can swear as much as you fucking want.
Brilliant.
So, but yeah, but what happened when you joined? Were they doing the competition already?
So the competition didn't start. Yes, in fact, as I started, they'd started as an in-store competition. Started as an in-store, which was in, I'd probably say it was August then when I started. Maybe did I start the week after the first in-store? When the in-store competitions were basically Andy Francis, Phil Yates, a couple of others. But it's between those two. You know?
Andy Francis and Phil Yates.
Andy Francis and Phil Yates.
Andy Francis is the only one I remember who used the glass roll, the most slick. It looked like he just held the glass in his hand,
and it
clicked his fingers and just went, whoop.
That and Ollie Pluck.
And Ollie, yeah.
They're the two that have got the... Ollie Pluck had the... You see, Francis would do it that way and it would just roll up.
Yeah.
Ollie would twist his arm and he'd get that rotation, making it go quicker at that point, and he'd go and do them up. And he looked slick as fuck doing it. They'd just roll up those rock slices and go bang.
Ollie used to do this pour. He did a pour like that, whatever, tennis grab pour, whatever, and then just literally bump and exactly that, poop, flick, and half a bottle would just go like this behind his back and as well. It was super.
It's fucking badass, isn't it?
It took 3 months to try and learn how to do that.
It's moments like that are just when you're bartending. It's so get those and perfect those little things, you know. And I think a lot of guys. You know, let's try and do these big ass tricks. If you're bartending in a bar and you're doing it every night, work on those constantly all the time. You can see when you see Sicky, it's muscle memory. Purely muscle memory. And the guys that tend bar every single night and just do that inside out, like Ollie Pluck, it just looked effortless. And it's yeah, some people will be able to do the move, but they won't be able to do it as polished as the guys that are doing it in and out every night. And you see a huge difference. You know,
it's a massive. You don't need to. Now go back to when you saw Paul Evans throw a full drink behind his back.
Yeah,
he didn't do a full routine or any of that shit. Just a full drink thrown behind your back, and bang, you caught someone's attention straight away.
Boom.
And it's exactly what we try and explain to people all the time when they're like, "Oh, full of shit. You know, you can't do that. It's a waste of time. It's circus." And you're like, well, you don't fully quite get it, because you just have to do that one thing, which is not slowing down your service, is bringing something extra to your customers, which is creating some entertainment. Yeah. And bang, you've made someone's night.
What you've done as a business point of view, you've made someone's night. You've probably kept them in the bar for another drink, at least, because they're like, hey, this guy's fucking cool. Let's stay in here. This is good. You've created a talking point for them to either maybe engage with somebody else at the bar, which will keep them in the bar, and then them maybe doing whatever they do and carrying on the night there. It gives them something to talk about when they leave that bar. Oh, look, I saw this guy, you know, you should come down. Fucking yeah, we'll go down and check it out, you know. All of that just through doing simple Flair techniques. And it doesn't have to be the big fucking Flair show. Just them cool little touches, you know. Boom. And hello! Is it me, Leggy Bar? Sorry. And it's just those little small techniques and those little things that if they're nailed down and your bar team are doing it, you'll see your business go up. Guaranteed.
100%.
100%.
I mean, when I used to watch you guys bartend at Roadhouse, the things that you'd remember is popping bottles.
Yeah.
Opening about 15 bottles in your hand, like this. Yeah. And chucking shit in the bin.
Fucking, I was awesome at it. Although I have fucked a few people up at the same time, including barbacks. So the popping bottles thing was a fantastic thing. I mean, the bar blade, again, no one really used bar blades before that. It's the first time I come across one in 99.
Yeah.
Was a bar blade at Roadhouse. I was like, oh, I've fucking got one here. Do you know what? I thought I saw one the other day. Yes! Fucking hell. How was that?
Is that a Roadhouse one?
It's a Roadhouse one.
Oh, brilliant. What number is it?
So 911. It's actually got the old roadhouse.co.uk Flair website thing there as well, the old phone number and stuff. So anyway, they gave you these bar blades, and they said, right, okay, you have to use a Roadhouse bar blade. Now, these were made...
I love that, though. You have to wear the blevers, you have to wear the bar blade, keep it fucking branded, you know?
Yeah, and these fucking things were not made by someone who'd burred off the edges and shit like that. These are just solid fucking chunks of metal with holes cut out, you know, that have not been burred off at the edge, right? Yeah. So you're doing this, and within the first couple of... my hands are shredded. Fucking shredded. I was like, do I have to keep using it? Yeah, your hands will get used to it. All right.
This day and age, you'd be like, I'm suing you.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't. Yeah. There'd be a point. Well, shit, my hands, I can't use it. But what these things did, I mean, they're fucking heavy duty things. You'll hardly ever break a Roadhouse bar blade. But when you're popping them, they didn't have the little divot on that side, so you couldn't get Beck's bottles.
Right, yeah, because
open with them. Which
yeah.
fuck Beck sales in Roadhouse? Because you're like, I want to pop shit. You know, I'm going to sell you bottles of
Corona.
Yeah, Corona's fine. Budweiser, fucking whatever. But Beck's, and even when you open them like that, they wouldn't open properly. Yeah. Because it didn't have that little filing bit in it. But yeah, no, that's it was one of the main tools of the trade, but completely shit as a bar blade. There were far better bar blades on the market. You know,
everybody wanted one, but they were shit.
Yeah, completely shit. You know. But they hurt the fuck out of your hands. They really did. I mean, it's just this bit here, because you're always doing that, and just there and round here. It was horrible, but your hands get used to it.
It's nice and smooth now. After years of being...
Well, no, that wasn't my proper one. I think I had a bar blade. I had 004 or 006 or something like that. I had the early ones.
Wow.
And then I kept losing them and fucking...
And then Nick's 911.
Yeah, I saw it because it's 911 like a Porsche. That's why I've got 911 one. But I've got another one at home which has got my name on it as well. It's got Big Andy written on it, which is what my nickname was.
Big Andy. Big Andy. But yeah, so when did the competitions begin then?
Fucking competitions! About July, August that year.
But no, did you start entering after Phil and what's his name was competing?
Yeah.
Did you enter?
Yeah, I entered competition. Did I wait until 2000? Because I started in 99. I did 6 months. I left and came back. I left and went away for a few months. Went to live in Ireland. And then went to nothing against Ireland, by the way. It's a beautiful place. Went there for a few months. Then went to Ibiza. Nice. To try and work over there. Couldn't really get a job. I could have done, but it's not what I really wanted to do. And while I was in Ibiza, I got a call off Lee Curtis. He says, "Do you want to come back? You know, I'm much of a bartender. Do you want to come back?" And he just got me the right point. I went, "Fucking damn right. What the fuck am I doing?" Went back into Roadhouse and smashed the fuck out of it then. And that's when I really fucking took it up a next level. You know, within the 6 months when I was there, I think I've even got photos of when I had a long ponytail and all that kind of shit. But I knew when I left, and I was like, I wasn't too sure about it, and it was just, and then I was like, and then you just call and say, "Come back," and I went, yeah, fucking let's go for this. And I think that's probably when I did my first comp, which is probably 2000.
2000.
I don't know if I did them in 99.
I remember you telling me that you used to go over, this was later on, you used to go over to Norway, because Norway had a competition over there. And you and somebody else used to go there, not telling anyone there was a competition, go over and win it.
I don't think I ever won it.
Or try and get some, have a pie.
No,
get top 3.
No, competition-wise, I didn't tell you the bloody story. We want to go in for the people then, man. Before I got to Roadhouse, I worked at Henry's, which we said. I won the competition at Henry's.
Oh, yeah.
So the Greenhalls, it was owned by Greenhalls at that time. Greenhalls bartending challenge, all that kind of stuff. Ginge, not Ginge, David Reynolds Ginge, another Ginge. I think set it up because he was looking after Squares. Andrew Mullins.
All right.
Owns Fling.
Okay.
He set it up. And I think he was pulled by Greenhalls to run this bartender challenge or whatever it was. I won my area one, went to Liverpool, won it through giving it the large.
Pouring storm pours on the floor,
no? No.
Do that.
It's coming back to me. I came up with a good drink which is called an Amethyst Monday. And I remember you had to present yes to a pour test. You had to Flair and you had to create a drink. Mixology. We don't know one heard of fucking mixology. Anyway, I created an Amethyst Monday. I had martini in it and some other shit, and it was purple in colour. And my thing was, it's Amethyst Monday, it's my birthstone, so when you come for a drink at my bar, rather than get drunk, why don't you get stoned? And they went like, hey, that's pretty good. So yeah. Cheesy as fuck, but it worked. And so I won that competition, went to the finals, got super drunk. Did the finals. It was some TV show as well that was down there doing it, whatever it fucking was. I came second in it. I got beaten by, I think it was a pour test I got beaten on or something, because I smashed the Flair. I remember that because I had did my Flair show and wrote "Who's your daddy" in fucking big marker pen on my, of course, incredibly chiseled physique. and at the end I went, ripped off my shirt, "Who's your daddy?" in big mark. I was going, "Yeah!" and then turned around and it was me in big letters on my back. Got second, got 500 quid for that. Used that 500 quid for a deposit on the flat that I needed on Holloway Road to come down to London.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
I had to win that competition. Well, not win the competition, but I had to win that competition to get to London.
Did you win any other comps then? No, because what about this going back to Norway? I remember I went round to your house once and you had a couple of trophies. I'm like, where'd you get those from? Norway? Or sometimes they didn't even make it back.
I don't know. I
doesn't remember.
I don't know, because I think I did win some, because I got to the grand finals of one Norway competition. I don't know what year it was, 2000, I don't know, fuck knows, 4? Something like that.
Right.
And it's when I did the finals, got to the finals in the top 6 against Nicholas. And that's when I came out, I wore a rugby shirt. That made Nicholas competed, obviously won. I fucking made the finals, and the only picture they got in the local paper was of me
in a rugby shirt.
In a rugby shirt, do you remember it? No, you don't, do you?
I think I've seen it before.
In a rugby fucking shirt, because Chris was Chris Spencer, Roadhouse bar manager, Kiwi guy, was the organiser of the competition. I wore the fucking England rugby shirt to wind him up, and then flared and did Terry Barnes' move with the shoe, making the drink in the shoe. Did the whole 3 tins behind the head, missed them all. What the fuck am I going to make a drink here? Take your shoe off and, you know, make a drink in the shoe.
This is back in the day where Flair comps, it was a lot more show orientated, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because you had, people, a lot of the moves were the same, weren't they?
2001 maybe. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, go on, sorry.
But it was a lot more show orientated. And we discussed this, and you saw people make drinking shoes, wore right on them. Chris Spencer used to get his bum out.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, you look at the old comps from the American boys in Quest for the Best, and it's dressing up in uniforms, dressing up in characters. IBA, you know, dressing up a character like IBA probably carried it on a bit too long. You know, because they came to a point when we're probably like, maybe we need to, you know, the skill set and the levels of the tricks and what we're doing here is actually taking it up to another level where we're becoming serious performers, you know, at that point, which is what, I don't know, probably what I saw when it was coming through and going, okay, this is the time to, I'm not here to compete anymore. This is the time that we can turn this into something, you know, quite unique and to push it forward. So it's not, hey, they're all fucking Flair bartenders getting drunk and making drinks in shoes and whatever, you know, to this is now, there's a career choice for certain people to do this full time as a professional Flair bartender. All Flair bartenders at that point were working in bars. Every single fucking one of them. You know, there was no professional Flair bartenders. There was consultants maybe and things like that, but there was no professional Flair bartenders. And I suppose that's when we started doing Roadhouse and we started to, you know, the competition went from its 99 in store, went to 2000 against TGI Fridays, against some other boys. Then the guys from France got involved. Oh, can we do your competition? And it kind of grew from there. And it was like,
it grew pretty quick, didn't it?
It grew very quick. Very quick. Because there was no other platform out there. Because there was, remember chatting with Brett Seychelles, and he was like, you know, I want to do these Flair comps. I'm like, Flair comps haven't been done for like the 80s, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, you know. Or the Via Vita ones, or the ones up in Manchester and stuff.
Did Maloney's have one?
Maloney's, yeah, exactly. I mean, fantastic fucking Flair bar. There was a clip on Facebook. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And it had Liam Metcalf.
Yeah.
With his fucking, you know, he had fake tits.
Yeah. What was it with him? It was Liam and somebody else. There's a big guy.
He wasn't Spender, was it?
I don't know. I wouldn't recognise him, but I did see the clip.
Was like,
Was it Christian Oldham put it on there?
He did, yeah.
Christian Oldham was like, this was a great bar, I can't remember the name, blah, 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 and somebody put underneath
Maloney's. I could see his notes. It looked a bit fried just with the Tiffany lamps. And
Yeah. So back then, it was highly showmanship and cheese orientated. Now we're looking at supreme difficulty.
Yeah.
Pros and cons? Any pros, like, do you think it needs a bit more of a sprinkling of the showmanship aspect?
Because you've got the showmanship aspect of it. You've got people like Alexander Strifanov still adding the show to it. You've got people like Marek Pozushny adding the show to it. Even Flavius when he's doing show stuff. You've still got that element of it. It's just that we don't have to fill the fucking 5 minutes with woo, let's take your top off and have fucking Who's Your Daddy written on it. Because you can actually amaze people and do a show just on the tricks and the actual flair, you know, and the performance that you put alongside of it, which is, of course, is the showmanship side of things, you know, which, be it in time to the music, be it your head up, landing everything really cool. It's now saying, hey, we're not a bunch of pissed dickheads who are taking our tops off and fucking dressing up like other, which kind of makes it a bit jokey. We're quite serious about what we do here, you know, but it's a show, you know, we're performing a show for you kind of thing.
I do think there's a lot of people, because I've been having discussions, let's say, online recently from the Flavius podcast I put out. I was like, is Flair an art or a sport?
And I've always said it's an art.
I've always thought it's an art.
It's an art form, derived from the act of bartending.
But some people are saying when you put competition behind it, turns into a sport. Like, perhaps. But we'll get to that in a second, because some people are still like, oh, it's circus, it's this, it's that, it's a waste of time. And I do feel like those people are still thinking of taking your shoe off, writing something on your chest, that kind of flair.
Yeah.
And they're not seeing what these guys are doing today. And I do think that or do you think that because of the level of it's gotten at, disassociate, was that the right word? Or people lose interest because, like, general public. The general public, you go up on stage and you do your thing and says, who's your daddy? And everyone can associate with that.
Yeah.
So you're not doing tough moves. But if someone comes up and does all these difficult tricks and then basically is like, what do you think about that? And they're like, I have no idea what you're doing.
The trouble is, there's two different things. There's flair that you see behind the bar, which is for the general public. These are the people that will go, oh, look at that cool trick, like we said before, ollie plot, glass mount, boom, boom, boom. That's what they want, yeah? If you do a bit of a show for them, oh yeah, that looks great, yeah, but they're not going to sit and fucking watch 3 hours of it at all. You know, they're going to switch off and get bored because they're not into it, yeah? Flair competitions are for people that are into flair. Sure. We've tried for many fucking years to go, you know, we can take this mainstream, we can take it on TV, we can do that with it, blah, blah. It's very hard to do that because it is a very specialised thing. I still do think that there is a place for it because the levels of where it's going to, you know, and the amount of different tricks and things like that, and the performances that people are putting out, it could be, still that, it's still freaking TV at some point, you know. So there is a way for it to get out there, but the general public, you're still going to have an interest in it.
Sure.
Skateboarding is on TV. My fucking mum's not going to watch a skateboarding competition.
No.
You know? But people involved in that subculture of it, that maybe not skateboarders, but they're maybe into something else, maybe surfing or whatever else, they're still going to appreciate it, you know, so they're going to watch it, you know. But it's not going to be on fucking ITV fucking prime time because, you know, most people want to watch Love Island. You know, so it won't get to those levels. But, for example, skateboarding, surfing, things like that, there is, you know, you've still got to be into that subculture, maybe, you know what I mean?
But I still think that, you know, all these years we've not seen more of an interest in flair. Let's rephrase that. There is more of an interest in flair bartending, basically because of social media and the fact that it just grows. But, you know, back in the day, there's more of an interest nowadays than there ever has been, purely from the fact that people are starting to respect bartenders as a career choice. Completely agree.
Which there never was when I started at all. Now it's respected, you know. Yeah. If you're, you know, everyone's now heard of mixologist, you know. There was never a fucking mixologist when I was like, what the fuck? That word, when I heard it, I was like, what? You know, and still to this day, I'm like, okay. But you have to use the terminology which has been taken on by the general public. A lot of people now know what a mixologist is. There's a lot more credibility behind bartending and the spirits and the cocktails that you drink and where you drink them and all of that kind of stuff. So there's more respect come to it, you know. So it is seen as a bit more of a career choice, you know. It's getting to the levels of chefs and things like that.
For sure.
So Flair will at the same time come with that because, we've said this before, is that mixology came onto the scene, mixology competitions. The brands could turn around and say, fuck, we want recipes. We want people to drink and try our products, so it's great. Mixology competitions, though, essentially, they're not much fun.
I mean, they are supreme niche. You've really got to be into bartending to watch a mixology comp. Yeah. But then you get something different. From mixology comp, the brands get the cocktail.
Exactly. So hence why we always tried to do the WFA when we did the cocktails and stuff like that. So Flair then has got its, as bartending starts to become more relevant, then people be like, oh, right, okay, but even the general public, I mean, for the events company, I want to hire some mixologists for a party. All right, cool. Do they do all the tricks and stuff and everything? Can they do, you know? It's like, well, yeah, that's a Flair bartender. Yeah, cool, whatever it is.
Whatever.
They think that a mixologist does Flair. That's what they think, you know? There's mixologists at the moment turning in their fucking graves or turning in their bar spoons or whatever. But you see what I mean? They would be like, they would be like, oh, God, you know, we don't do that kind of thing. But I do think nowadays is that the two genres are starting to start together, you know, and people that were just specified just in doing cocktails and learning knowledge and all that kind of stuff and weren't looking to do Flair moves are obviously starting to do more Flair moves, because we know that a lot of engagement, people all want something visual to look at, social media. Flair is engaging to look at.
Do you reckon it's the new trend coming up in the bartending world behind the bar?
To Flair?
To Flair. Not that
we tried doing this fucking 3 years ago with the craft Flair competition.
Yeah, but not to say that it's not been a trend, but do you think that, tell us about the competition then. Craft Flair competition.
Well, no, we'll get to that. Do I think there's a new trend do I think that more bartenders nowadays are going to be more interested in doing nice high pours, spinning the spoon a couple of times, splitting a 3-part shaker, taking the top off and making sure their movements look slick? 100%.
Agreed.
And that is Flair. No matter how you look at it, that is Flair.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Okay, if you were to explain, although you've just explained what Flair is, if you were, what is Flair bartending like? If you had to go into more detail and tell someone what is Flair bartending, because again, people would think that 3 bottles juggling in the air, making a vodka tonic.
Well, Flair is a way of doing something with style and panache. Simple. That's what Flair is. So bartending with style and panache. Boom.
Basically,
fucking doing high pours. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary to pour this high up. Why'd you do it? Because it looks fucking cool. Why'd you balance a bottle on your arm? Because it looks fucking cool. It's unnecessary, but it looks cool. Yeah. Everybody wants to look good when they're doing their profession.
Yeah.
Yeah. They want to have a certain amount of style to it. So I do think that every bartender now that makes cocktails, even the ones that are like Flair, will try and spin a bar spoon around the fingers. And that is Flair. But they wouldn't have done that 4 years, 5 years ago.
No.
Yeah?
No.
So that's what is happening.
That's the progression.
And it's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
It's awesome. Because everyone should have that little element of just taking pride in when you're doing whatever you're doing to look slick, to look cool, particularly when you're on stage, I mean behind the bar for your customers and guests, because they want to know that they're being made drinks by a professional.
Yeah.
He cares that much about his craft that he's perfected certain techniques. Doesn't need to be a fucking 3-4 bottle show. Doesn't need to be. But just cool stuff so they go, fuck, you're the man.
Is that
or
like...
woman.
or other sexual orientation.
Which we don't know. Yeah, exactly. Toaster.
It's like that, you walk up to a bar and you see somebody just making their drink, just simple movements. Would you prefer to be served by him or her or whatever, or the person doing all the cool shit? I mean, if anybody turns around and said they much prefer to be served by the person who's just literally doing the bare minimum to get the drink out, I think he's lying. Then why are you going out for a cocktail? Why are you going out for a drink?
I've got a feeling about that, and I've got another story. When I was in New York just before the Twin Towers fell down, 9/11. And what year was that? 2001. What's 2001?
Never thought we'd say 9/11 so many times on a podcast.
Yeah. Have you said it before?
No, you've said it on your bar blade about 12 times.
Wow! Okay, so it's another example of fantastic bartending and Flair, even though there was no tricks essentially pulled off. I was looking for a Manchester United game to watch, and I got told it was go down to it's the Greenwich area, and it was an Irish bar in New York.
Right.
And it was Greenwich Village, and they said, oh yeah, they'll have it on their United fans. It's an Irish bar. So I went, okay, what's this bar? Fucking bar's busy. I can't remember the name of it now. It's the Neverano. Oh.
Don't matter.
Anyway, someone please tell us if you get this far watching it. Yeah. And they had the TVs on. I was like, oh, fucking, that's 5 deep in the bar. Looked over because I can see. Oh, 2 bartenders. I'm like, fuck this. We're not going to get shit. I'll just try and find out till I get a drink, but at least I can watch a game. I'm literally stood at the back, and I was like, oh, right mate, what you get you? And words to that effect. Basically, it was, hey mate, what can I get you? And I went, I was taken back. I'm a fucking bartender. I'm used to quick service, I demand quick service, And I was like, oh, fuck, Paul, what do you...
Yeah, typical English. What do you want? Sorry.
And he fucked off. And I was like, Paul, what do you want? He went, oh, fuck, okay. Guinness, okay. And I looked back around, and he was back in. I went 2 pints Guinness, he went, right, cool, bang, and they were up there.
Wow.
And I'm fucking amazed. And that was Flair, you know. But the guy was, I mean, essentially, I suppose, is it Flair or not? It was certainly speed of service. It was customer service down to a fucking T. The man knew what he needed to do. You didn't want to sit and fucking talk and go hand you a fucking menu and tell you how your fucking day was and what are you doing in this area? You know,
it's too busy.
He's got a bar full of people that want to watch the TV because they want to watch football and they want to drink.
Yeah.
So he's got his 2 main things. These guys want to watch football and they want to drink beer.
Yeah.
They've got to drink fucking beer because it's going to make us a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's all he's interested in. Nothing else.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking see him catch a fucking pipe on his head. I don't want to see him twist some fucking Guinness glasses around his hand. I don't want to see it.
Although he probably did. When he picked it up, he probably went like that.
He probably did.
And bought it.
But that's not what wowed me
on
that thing. What wowed me was, how the fuck are you serving all these people and 2 of you and you're pulling draft Guinness? How the fuck are you even doing that shit? And I was amazed by it. You know, and that was... so there's always a time and a place for the bar that you go into. Whether it's a time for a little bit more chat, you've got time, there's only a few at the bar, the bartender's going to be a bit more of a host, maybe do a little bit of flair, slightly busier bars where there could be some nice cool rolls going on, or we're just serving beer because all you lot don't even look at me, I want to look at the screens and watch football.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So it's just that. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
You know? Yeah.
And that's it. So it's about reading your scenario and your bar to go into. So you're not always going to be happy to see, you know, because you won't see it. You fucking won't see it.
He's like, what do you want, mate? You're like, I don't give a shit. But
you see, there's always a time and a place for it. And there's different styles of bartending and different styles of... And when people say to me, oh, who's your perfect bartender? Depends what bar I'm in.
Yeah.
Depends what bar I'm in, depends what drinks I'm drinking, depends what mood I'm in, depends in, you know, if I'm out with the missus, I'm out with a bunch of lads. There is no perfect bartender. The perfect bartender is when you're in that bar.
It's the one giving you the drink at that point.
and does it well, you know. So
how do you, because you've got an events company, that's where we are.
Yeah. It's
Bar Events. It's a nice playing card.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. And you get asked a lot for flair bartenders, mixologists. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How do you decipher what you're going to do, how does that work when you're going to rent out a bar to somebody with bartenders and they want flair bartenders or they want mixologists? Do you always sell them flair bartenders? Or?
We're trying to sell them flair bartenders because I think people come to us at Ace Bar Events because we do push out that we do flair quite a lot. It features quite heavily on our website. People know us for having flair bartenders. Of course, with me being one of the co-founders of the WFA, we know what we're talking about when it comes to flair bartenders. We know what a good one is. You know, we know how to...
There is bad flair bartenders out there, as we know.
There is, hence why we have the WFA grading system.
Ta-da!
So when we do events like that, people do ask for flair bartenders a lot. We sell them 2 different things. A flair bartender for service, flair bartender for a show. Flair bartenders from show can also do service, but they're a lot more expensive. Aren't they, Tom? Right? So we sell them those 2 things. We push off Atomic and Marek quite a lot. You know, we're there, I suppose they're representative for UK and Spain. We do a lot of the international events. We'll always push those forwards for it.
Yeah.
Because they do the tandem show and then they do the service as well afterwards. So we'll always try and push the show to people if they want it, if they've got the budgets for it. Because again, the best in the world ain't bloody cheap. And I ain't going to send a flair show from someone who's not competition standard. Is not at least within purple and black.
Can I tell you a quick story actually?
Go on.
I can't remember who told me this, but Vaclav Abraham in Czech Republic, he gets asked to do flair shows sometimes. And he's like, yeah, it's 400 euros or whatever it is. And they're like, we can't spend 400 euros. He goes, oh, no worries, I've got this guy, I'll do it for 50 euros. We'll take it. So this guy turns up, does his flair show, they pay it, and then they call up Vaclav the next day. He goes, who the hell is that? Why? That guy is crap, blah, blah, blah. He goes, well, that's 50 euros. If you pay 400 euros, you get someone good.
Yeah, exactly. 400 euros are cheap.
Yeah, 400 euros is cheap.
Bloody hell. Yeah. No, it's true. You pay for what you get. And I think that ties into with the WFA grading levels. Because everyone can say they're a Flair bartender. So I suppose anyone can say they're a Flair bartender. And if you're, particularly from an events company point of view, or you're trying to hire a Flair bartender, is there any bars out there that are interested in hiring Flair bartenders? You need to know how good they are.
Yeah.
You know, and it's why we did the WFA grading system. Because there needs to be a way of, well, if you're Flair bartender, well, how good are you? You know, kind of thing. And if you haven't won competitions, if you've won competitions, fine. You could turn around and say, I'm fucking Tommy Dean in the place of B, Brett Nose 2, Scooby Doo and Boom. Who are you? And you've won world championships and all that kind of stuff. Stiffenoff can say all
But
this.
you can lie about that.
You can lie about
which
it.
has happened.
Oh, I've got a very funny story about that at one point. But anyway, so you can have that, but so your better thing off is saying, well, blue level, WFA. And even if the owner of the bar, whoever hasn't heard about it, straight to the World Flair Association website, you can do this particular pour test, you can make drinks in this particular time, and you can perform those Flair moves that are on those videos. You get a feeling for how good that person is.
Exactly.
And they've passed the test.
Just quickly, for those that don't know what the WFA gradings is or are, it's a levelling system for bartenders to show your Flair skill, your speed and cocktail making skill, and your accuracy pouring skill.
Yeah. And
there's 10 levels, as I remember.
Yeah.
White, which you get.
Yeah.
Yellow, orange, green, blue, which are all your tested levels.
Yeah.
Which do free pour Flair and working Flair and everything else. Green, blue, purple and black, which is competition only. Top 3 and top 6 in the Grand Slam competitions.
Yeah.
Bronze, silver, gold.
Yeah. Who's gold, Tom?
Me.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a way for showing.
There's actually another level.
Oh, red.
Yeah.
The judges level. Who's red, Andy?
I'm red. I'm red. You're red as well, actually.
I'm red as well.
Yeah. Red is for WFA Grand Slams. WFA judges, basically. But yeah.
So you was going on to basically say that if you are an employer and and someone put on their CV on WFA blue level, I mean the blue is fucking hard.
It's really hard.
If you asked me to do it as a test, I'd have to practice it a lot.
Got it. So you do that pour test.
It's really hard,
but
but it is achievable. It's definitely achievable. Like people have achieved it already.
Yeah, not many. There's not many blues out there.
No.
I mean, when we start to push it online, which we are doing, which the WFA.
How's that working online then? How's it going to go?
Well, so basically the WFA is a membership site. So every time you're a member, it logs you as whoever you are, orange, green, blah, blah, whatever your level will be. So the site will be work dynamically to whatever level you are and tell you what level you need to do next. So then you'll go in and you'll have to go through what we call the different modules to learn exactly what you're doing on that test. Right, I need to do these particular pours, I need to make these drinks, these are the recipes, okay, fantastic, go through all that. These are the moves, right, watch the videos on it, got the moves, okay, fine. This is the equipment I need, this is how you set up your bar, right, okay, fantastic, right, cool, I'm good with this. Boom, purchase your grading, get given a link. You then have to film yourself, just like you're doing here, off your camera phone, whatever, you've got a good shot of the bar. And you'll do your pour test, you'll do your speed round, and you'll do your Flair round, all in one go. Won't be edited, you have to have a little clock at the front so everyone can see what time you're doing it and everything. And then you submit it, and it comes to us within 7 days. One of the examiners will look at it and go, yeah, cool, you've passed, or you've not passed, or which you get another chance to do it.
Yeah, freebie after that, right?
A freebie, just one chance at it. If you fail it that time, then fortunately
you've got to pay again.
You need to start practicing a bit more and pay again. So yeah, make sure you're ready to do it. You'll be given your certificate, you'll be updated on your profile. That certificate you can download, print off, show it to employers. The digital badge appears on your profile as well, so it's upgrading your profile at the WFA website. And yeah, you've then been awarded.
And when does it go live? Do you know?
4 years ago.
It's ready to go. No, it sounds like it's.
Oh God! I mean, it's a lot of work for us to be able to get it online for what it is. It sounds simple, but it's a huge, complex membership site that costs a bloody fortune. To maintain, to run. Even though it doesn't look it for the front end. I mean, it opened my eyes to,
website development. Next level, no?
Yeah, it is, because there's so many different complex things of it. And that's what, I mean, as you know, WFA is you don't make any money out of WFA. You know, the only people that make money out of WFA are the people who do the competitions.
Yeah.
You know, so they're the only ones. The judges will get paid when they go to competitions. The money that it takes will pay for a bit of warehouse space to put the stuff for the items to the shop. It will pay one person to facilitate those orders and get them out. We'll pay another person to maybe edit some videos and whatever else, and that's it. But me, Tomek, and Björn take nothing out of it whatsoever, and never have done. You know, I think we bought ourselves an Apple Watch once, didn't we?
Yeah.
Tried to put it through as an expense. The accountant went, "You can't do that." Oh, okay. So that's it. So I mean, we set up the WFA because we wanted to do things slightly different to the FBA, which is, you still remember, don't you, on the back of the
Flair Bar Association.
Flair
Bar Association.
Flair Bartenders.
The Flair Bartenders.
No, but you remember the day we set it up?
Monaco.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't actually involved. I was a little kid looking over the wall going...
Well, you weren't a kid. I think you just won the competition, hadn't you?
No, I can't, second or something. I can't remember. Yeah.
So yeah, we decided at that point, we'd had a chat with Mike and with Jim, Mike and Jim, FBA, or Jim was the owner of FBA. And we had a chat about the ways that we think we should do things, the way they want to do things. And we were like, hey, we're not agreeing here, so we'll set up on our own. Yeah. And at that point, it was me.
Did they know then you were going to do that? Or because I understood that they didn't know that it was going to happen.
Probably didn't know. No, we're not going to discuss it. We were just like, okay, well, okay, thanks very much, but
Because I remember when we got a letter from Jim.
Did we?
Do you not remember he sent an email, quite an angry email.
Yeah.
About because eventually carry on with your story and I'll tell you afterwards.
Well, no, we after that competition, me, Christian, Fabio, and Tug sat at the back steps of that club in Monaco, that venue in Monaco, and decided that we were going to set up the WFA. And we thought, okay, yeah, let's go for it. Because we didn't agree we never wanted to charge membership. Yeah. That's one thing we always said. We don't want to charge people membership. We didn't want to charge competitions to be part of a tour. Yeah. We just wanted to say, right, we want to make the best competitions we can. We want to write rules that we believe are the right way to do competition. We want to have the correct judges in place that we believe have got the correct knowledge and have not got a biased point of view or anything, and understand our rules and regulations and know how to judge a competition fairly. And we don't want to charge for this service like the FBA wants to charge $5,000 for you to be part of the Pro Tours competition. We would rather that money went back to the competitors and pumped their prize money up. Sure. So yes, the judges had to be paid, but the WFA as an organisation was never paid nothing. Yeah. No, we have to do which is still the case nowadays.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are under this impression that the WFA is this multi-million-pound conglomerate association business that just generates gazillions of money, and I don't think people realise how wrong they can be.
No, I mean it's been a huge part of my life, and you'll know this. It just takes up it takes up hours and time and everything that you do for it, but it becomes, because it's a passion, and you feel like you owe it to you owe it to the. You owe it to the industry as such that someone's got to do something about it, and you don't get any credit for it. You just get more abuse than you get credit.
I was about to say, do you feel like sometimes people?
Yeah, but
I don't want to say this in the right way. Not that people are not appreciative of what you're doing, but sometimes, like when I was part of the WFA, sometimes you feel like you're smashing your head against a brick wall.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to bring something new to the competition scene, to the world of Flair bartending or whatever, and it's just met with animosity. Or you don't know what you're doing, and like this is coming from a lot of years of experience.
It's going to happen, right? Because I'm at peace with it, and I wasn't always. It would really fucking annoy me at certain points. But you got to understand that these guys are putting just as much effort in when they're practicing. You know, and they're putting in their 8 hours a day, and they're training, and they're doing this, and blah, 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 for then someone to, not judge them right, or fucking because, I don't know, because you've now put a poor test into a competition. Or things like that. And I can understand where it comes from, because they're so passionate about it, as we all are.
I was a little bit when I was younger.
There were some massive fucking cunts. I mean, I'm not going to start naming names of people, but at some points I've been thinking...
I might have to beat those ones out.
Fucking hell. I was just thinking, fuck, man, why the fuck am I even bothering doing this? You know what I mean? Because I've got a passion for it. I do like to do it, and if there was somebody else better to do it or want to do it, they'd have done it.
Sign here. No, I'm joking.
But they would have done it.
Yeah, I mean...
Because I've always said, the reason why we fucking did it was because we didn't agree with what the FBA was doing, And we didn't, so we're like, okay, fair enough. We're going to stop with you and we're going to set up our own thing. Which I don't think the thing would have worked or whatever, but it did work and it's done well, so very good. But if someone doesn't agree with what we're doing, we're not saying that we are the fucking oracle and 100% right all of the time.
Of course.
We're just thinking these are our views and we're trying to be as open as possible. We talk to as many people as possible, and can sometimes be a complete arse and think my way is the fucking best way of doing it, But sometimes you listen to, let's do it that way and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's an ongoing process.
Sure.
And always an ongoing process. But yeah, it's it's hard work.
It is hard. I mean, it was hard work when I was part of it, and it was one of the hardest decisions for me to leave and go off and do my own thing.
But for me, it's what I wanted to contribute to the scene. Sure. Because when I was a Flair bartender, as I was competing in 99, 2000, whatever it may be, and doing competitions, and I've seen the shift of it going up a notch, possibly when Nicholas was starting to come in and Delpesh and things like that. It was like, okay, I can't do this. My skill set is going to be off doing something else to support this scene.
Yeah.
What can I do to support this scene? These guys are supporting the scene by practicing and getting on stage doing it. What can I do? That will be setting up an association and being a judge, because I feel I can always talk my point and get my points across and get my views across and hopefully get them across so somebody else understands those views at the same time.
Which is the hardest part sometimes.
Yeah, as a judge it is.
As the judge, definitely. Because like you said, once somebody's practiced however many years and you've gone, you're not good enough to win that competition, you're like, you. But
exactly.
It's really hard as a judge. Once you get to that judging spot and you're telling people that person was better than you today.
Well, it's very hard to take.
It's hard to take. It's hard to do it as well. The amount of times where I'm sure you've done it a hell of a lot more. You sit out the back and you're trying to judge this as fairly as you possibly can, and you know that when those results go out, it's going to upset.
Yeah, be a shitstorm. Yeah. And there's been numerous occasions of that happening. You maybe look at yourself because all you're doing then is, okay, right, so let's speak with competition owners, let's go on the Grand Slam, let's get more people, let's get this community going, let's build up this leaderboard, let's award people different titles, get them to gold levels, black, purple. It will help, obviously, maybe help their progression, with whatever they do. That's another title they can shout about. Right, let's write the rules, regulations, let's go into fucking detail on these rules and regulations and make sure there's no stone unturned, because there's always going to be someone, what about this, what about that? And I believe that when we write our rules and regulations for Grand Slams and things like that, and we brief them, they are on point. Yeah. We make sure that, and we put a lot of time and effort into doing that. And yes, other people do that, the competitions, if it isn't a WFA one, but a lot of it comes back to the work that we've done before.
100%.
We wrote the rules and regulations and the scoring systems, and devised new ones and new ways of doing it, kind of thing,
Flair and Entertainment.
Flair Entertainment, 2 fucking scores. That was actually King of the Ring pieces.
King of the Ring pieces, huh?
Yeah.
Tell us, because the Flair and Entertainment is now on Roadhouse Grand Final. Last year was Flair and Entertainment in the final.
Yeah.
And King of the Ring, the competition, we spoke about it with Stretch a little bit as well.
Yeah, yeah.
They did Flair and Entertainment, but didn't they have a point, like because you had different heats,
Yeah.
you got judged Flair and Entertainment, but then didn't you put the person into a position that you thought they were in as well?
Oh, I don't know. It was the Olympic, ice skating.
Jesus.
Fucking scoring system. They got someone in from the Olympic board to actually run the scoring system, and basically it was 5 judges, and say you've got out of 1 to 10 to score. The 2 highest scores, the highest score got taken away, and the lowest score got taken away, and then the 3 judges in the middle, an average of their score was taken.
And you just get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, or 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember being sat there because the first time I went over to do it, this was another shift when it was kind of WFA, because Jim Allison was sat on the judging board with Mike McLean, I think, as well. Tony Cogburn was there.
Boogie?
And me. I think it might have been Boogie.
There was 10 judges
Boogie.
because in the heats you shifted in and out.
Yeah.
And then the final you had Fabio was there judging as well.
Yeah, but there was only the best 5.
Sorry, Fabio.
which I was wanting. Was to do the finals, because then we didn't switch them.
Yeah.
But I still remember, because again, that scoring system they put in place was fucking never been done before at all. And it was, we're in the States, we're in Vegas, it's FBA, it's, blah, blah,
entertainment.
But it was FBA scoring systems.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Everyone was used to that. Competitors used to it, and everyone was like, oh. And I still remember Tony saying, how the fuck do I judge this thing? I haven't got my boxes to fill in. And I was like, it felt like a breath of fresh air to me, because I was like, I can feel their routine, Flair and Entertainment. I know what I'm scoring. I'm 100% sure in what I've seen, what I've taken on board, and my score on those page fucking translates to that routine. And I am 100% confident in what I've given, and what I'm doing is fucking right.
Yeah.
Other judges struggled with it because they didn't have the safety of
a box. Yeah. And I think that it's definitely, like you said, you feel the routine.
Yeah.
Because one thing I hated about judging when you had originality, creativity, is that you're sitting there, you're taking so many notes, and you're fucking doing all this shit. Your brain is going at 100 miles an hour to try and process everything. Yeah. Whereas if you just put the pen down, you sit there and watch, enjoy it.
You get the feeling.
You get the feeling. You can mark someone out of 10 much more easily than give them.
You do get the feeling that there is. I mean, there's ways of guys that put together their routines.
So competitions, what's happening with Roadhouse these days then? Because they've cancelled.
They have to.
Yeah. Are they open at the moment?
No, still not open. It's a nightclub.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You can't do it. There's no outside drinking areas, and I mean, it's a disaster. And it's going to affect so many bars, restaurants, companies, anyone else as an events company struggling at the same time because we can't do events, bars, restaurants. It's everyone's saying, oh, we're all in the same boat. We're not all in the same boat. We're in the same seas, but a lot of us are in different bloody vessels.
Some people have bigger boats than others.
Some will have big old, cruise liners that can weather that storm big time, and some of us are in fucking rowboats. You know what I mean? So we are all in a shit situation. Some will be better than others when they come out the other end of it. But unfortunately, a competition that is funded completely by Maxwell's. The competition costs, I don't know, 18 grand, 20 grand, something like that. 10 grand prize money. Then you got to pay all the judges to come across. You got to pay their accommodation. Then you got to pay for the DJ and all that kind of stuff that happens. I can't really tell you what they take in a night, but nowhere near fucking pays for it all. But the reason they do it is it's part of the DNA and it's part of Roadhouse. And they do it for the bartenders that are out there, and they want them to have this stage to perform on, As a business point of view, it fucking makes zero sense for them. But just because of the passion and what's involved in it, that's why they do it. And the fact that they've lost a huge amount of money, they can't they can't do the competition.
And what are they? So there was obviously Roadhouse was leaving the venue and going to another place, or something. What's going on with the place? You know, are they gonna redo the competition next year? Or?
Yeah. Well, the plan is, who knows what's gonna happen? No one knows what's the situation.
Yeah.
Who's to know if fucking companies are gonna be here next year? No one knows.
True.
But the plan is, to start it next year. You know, as long as people don't boycott it.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Has that happened?
I don't know. Has it? So hopefully they'll do it next year.
And what about Grand Slam? You're doing the Grand Slam competition this year. Any changes for next year?
We got to get through this year.
Yeah, it's a tough one to start thinking about it. What about Flair Mania? Are they gonna?
We don't know.
They haven't said anything.
No one knows, do they? No one's gonna make any fucking decisions about anything for a while. You know, because any extra expense, fucking hell, we went through it. The last time that Flair competition started dying was the last crash in 2008. You know, when the financial fucking markets went to shit. That's when brands went, just a second, before that we had King of the Ring pieces, fucking 25 grand, all this, blah, blah, big prize money. And then, all the brands were like, oh shit, what are we going to spend our money on? They were really protective about it, and that's when the Flair comps stopped. So they're not going to stop, but who knows what's going to bloody happen?
What about if they come back when they come back? Sorry,
they will come back. Yeah.
Of course they will. I believe so. Competition is a natural progression. It's like if you guys don't start doing competitions and Grand Slams and that, somebody else is going to do it.
Yeah.
So, but any ideas for new styles? Because Roadhouse last year was free pour, speed round. Flair, new styles of competitions coming out, things like that. Anyway, have you even thought about it because of the whole global pandemic?
Always thought about it. I fucking thought about it at the start of the pandemic. A new idea of competition that I really wanted to fucking do. We did the proposals for it. Now it's not the right time to obviously go out and try and get sponsorship for it. But what I wanted to do was really make it fucking theatre based. But as we know, when you do a World Series competition, for example, you need people to understand it and fucking absolutely deliver for you. Because we can put all the frills, the stage, the fucking lights, the PR, the promotion, everything about it, get everything in place, get everyone in that venue. At the end of the day, if those guys on stage don't deliver and do the show, there ain't no fucking comp. There ain't nothing for anyone to look at, kind of thing. Yeah? So they need to be able to understand it. If you're going to do a new rule, a completely fucking change the face of competitions, they need to be able to understand it and deliver what the vision is.
Product experience.
Which is hard. So the product experience was really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Not many people got it. Oliver got it with a balloon kind of thing. Not a lot of people got it. Not a lot of people got it because maybe they didn't put the time and dedication into doing it. Because they were like, it's just a Flair competition, you know. Whether it was their fault or our fault, I don't know, you know. But we'll take our blame. We tried our best to push it out there.
Sure.
This is what you need to do. And then, you know, things like that. What I want to do, what I'd really fucking like to do. So, anyone out there who wants to do this with me, sponsors. I'd love to do something that's almost theatre based.
Yeah.
Right. Hear me out on this.
No, I'm hearing it. I like the idea already.
I want this as an experience, okay? And I want it as an experience where it's bringing Flair up with high-end kind of bartending, essentially, if you call it mixology, the high-end bars or whatever. So it's the kind of pinnacle of both. And the idea is that you take, say for example, take 6 fucking quality Flair bartenders. Quality, you know, that will deliver a routine that is bang on. You know, they will look the part, the instruments that you're using will look the part, you know, they will dedicate the time and energy to doing it, you know. And you get a theatre base, you put nice chairs out, a bit like Ronnie Scott's. Imagine Ronnie Scott's, right?
Yeah.
Imagine you
the jazz bar in Central London.
Jazz bar Central London. Yeah, cool. Nice comfy chairs, you're watching something on stage, something doing it, you got a nice little table with a lamp on it. Me and you sat there now, little lamp. Looked at your penis then, didn't mean to. A little lamp, or a big lamp. A little lamp on the table, and you're sat, and there's a stage in front of you, and someone comes out, lights open, it's well lit, goes dark, and they do the performance, and they make a fantastic cocktail. Doesn't have to be full on, woo, Flair, multiple snaps, but has to look slick, fucking cool, delivered, 100% like a fucking show.
Like a bartender would do.
Like a fucking bar, and looking cool. Of course, it has to be Flair, 3-4 minutes long, curtains goes down, it stops. The whole audience of 80 people, 100 people, whatever's in the thingy, all get delivered that cocktail that's been made.
Wow.
Because it's been made out back, and it's garnished perfectly and it looks great. So they then get that experience while they're sitting. So they've watched it, they've watched this art form take place. Think Denis Sopi crossed with Stefanov with touch of Denny Bakiev, things like that. It's a fucking performance. It's what? You get that, the music, the atmosphere of it is all fantastic. Curtains close, drinks come out, everyone enjoys the drinks. Oh, this is fantastic. Maybe a little story about it, whatever it may be. In the meantime, the next bar is being set up. You've got about 15 minutes or whatever so they can enjoy the nice cocktail. Curtains open, next show. You go through it, you do 6 of those. So in the course of an evening, you've got 6 performances, 6 different cocktails, which will maybe give you a whole kind of, experience at the same time. And that is the way that I feel that a competition could be done. They're pretty fucking cool. We're nowhere at the level we can do that. We know the guys are at the level that can do that. We've got the experience in regards to how a competition works, how it flows, the events work, all that kind of stuff. We kind of get an idea of what the brands are after as well at the same time. We kind of know what engages people as an audience, to watch something. 6 is cool. 6 people, watching 30 people is not so cool for the average, to keep the excitement going. Yeah. And it delivers that it's a show. It's a fucking show. You know what I mean? It's a great evening. 6.
You get 6 beautiful tickets, 6 cocktails. You get entertainment, drink, and show.
6 beautiful cocktails made by people that are the highest in their profession. Plus, they're going to perform it for you as well, making that cocktail with Flair.
Do they talk, or how did their performance go? Is it a story, or?
I've always thought about the talking kind of thing, and I think then, again, you're looking for 2 different things then, because a Flair bartender is not always great on a microphone.
No.
And a bartender isn't always great on a microphone. They can't captivate a room. When you talk and you do public speaking, it's a different skill set to just go, explaining what you're doing. You'll lose the room instantly. You can't lose the room in this, because if you lose the room, that audience starts talking, then it takes away from that, then they're just having a drink, and it fucking doesn't work. You don't deliver it.
No.
So you can't have them talking.
No.
Because you're going to lose them. What you need, it needs to be well lit, and the music needs to be dramatic, and their performance needs to be perfectly in tune with that piece of music, not just fucking made up or whatever. It needs to be nailed 100%.
And it can be simple stuff as well. It doesn't have to be crazy difficult. It just has to be slick and cool and awesome.
Well lit, well dressed guys using fantastic bar tools, looking really fucking slick, making a really great drink. It's a show. And what we're heading towards then is not a competition, it's now a show. Is there then a potential for that to open that up as a different kind of event space? Is someone going to turn around and say, actually, that's fucking quite cool. I'd pay 100 quid. I'd pay 120 quid to go and watch that. I'd pay 120 quid to go and watch fucking Taylor Swift or someone sing whatever. I won't say that because I've had to do it with my daughter. But they'll pay for entertainment, that's that. And by the time they pay for drinks, it's 220 quid. Imagine you could pay, let's say £200 to go and sit and be entertained by some of the best Flair bartenders or best bartenders creating amazing, unique cocktails, so you get a flavour experience through a 4-hour window, which is your evening, night out, while watching a great show.
Exactly. And then you can go on tour.
So that is, yes, so there you go. There's a sneak preview of what I'd like to do.
What about anything online?
It's weird online.
I know it's weird, but it's
online competitions. Kenji's doing one. So Kenji's sorting one out. It's going up on the website, Cybershake.
Yeah, I saw that.
You've seen that? Yeah. That's going for the guys in South America only for this one. Online experiences, of course, fucking super relevant. But I still fucking struggle with it. I don't understand the sector enough, and I still think people crave experiences that are 4D rather than just on the screen.
The 4D Flair bartending competition experience.
4! Fucking hell. How many D's have you got? 4? I got fucking 1 here and 3 more at back.
Brilliant.
Okay. I do. Yeah, obviously online competitions do work, have worked. The guys at Flair Venture did an online Flair competition at the start of quarantine.
Yeah.
The guys, Kenji is doing this one for South America. Yeah, they do work. I don't know. It's do it. Great. Go for it. Let's do an online Flair competition. I really want to fucking push the boundaries. I've always liked pushing the boundaries of competitions. When we did the Glamour Live fucking concept.
Yeah.
You know, I fucking loved that idea. It was fantastic. I wish that had grown more.
I think it can still.
Yeah, of course it can. We can all revisit all these projects, kind of thing.
For sure.
You know, the World Series, great, but they need to. People who are entering the competitions need to understand completely what we're after.
Yeah.
You know, essentially. Glamour Live did work, essentially. There's a couple of tweaks that need to work with it, because what you've always got to remember is that you're dealing with the public who are then drinking for free for 5 hours. You know, so to get them to be the judges by tipping a certain amount is always a challenge, because they're like, woohoo, free food, it's not my fucking money. So there's always challenges, and you can always tweak every single competition, event, anything that you do to make it better next time. But I really do want to do this theatre style thing. I'd love to do it.
Do you know what I always think back to is JJ's. He's got a theatre above London Cocktail Club, and we've discussed it as well. Is that you look at Flair competitions these days, and you stand on the dance floor and you look up to the bartender, and you see about this far up to what they're doing. And you kind of lose it. It works at Roadhouse because there's so many different levels, and essentially you can be slightly higher, whatever else. So theatre is the way.
It isn't. A theatre style performance for a Flair performance that you would put at the Roadhouse Grand Finals would not work.
No, I agree.
Because that is, fuck! And you can't be sat down in your posh red velvet armchair sipping a lovely crafted cocktail and go, woo! You know, and look at the guy next to you and go, have you fucking seen the shit that he's doing? That's for that, you know?
Yeah.
This is just like, it's, you know.
I think it is brilliant as well because it's not about people going nuts, going crazy. I think that's, in some ways, what people see Flair, they just think has to be
but you gotta have
energy.
that.
You gotta have that. You gotta have that as well.
Yeah.
But I love the fact, like, if you watch some bartenders out there, they don't go for that. Like Mika Metio, for example.
Yeah.
He's just smooth and slick all the way through.
Yeah.
You know, he has a couple of power moments through his routine. But why can't we have super slick, really cool, nice? Because some people may want to watch that and they don't want to be in a crowded Roadhouse going, you know, but they want to sit down with their Manhattan and their nice cocktail and then not clap, and then at the very end they go, that's bloody good, mate.
It's bloody great. I can't wait to try that drink as well. I've just watched you perform that.
Exactly.
You know, that looks amazing. Fantastic. Look at that.
As the biggest thing that we used to get, especially at Roadhouse, the crowd used to steal the drinks off the bottle.
Yeah, but that's not because they wanted to try some wonderfully crafted piece of, you know, liquid refreshment. You know, they just wanted to get fucked up for free. You know, that's it.
But some people used to ask me all the time. Like when my mum and dad used to come down, their friends and that. So who tries the drinks? I'm like, well, no one. You know, because it's all about the performance at Roadhouse.
Yeah.
But at Grand Slam, who tries the drinks? The judges, and they get judged accordingly, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But the crowd always want to try the drinks.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they just want to get fucked up, but sometimes they genuinely just say, "That looks like a good drink. I want to try it." So I think it's a great. I'd love to see it happen.
Yeah. No. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try. I mean, we've got to. The thing is, during these lockdown periods, you can start thinking about stuff, you know, because you need to keep your mind busy and occupied, because all you start thinking about then is everything shit and everything's fucking terrible and blah blah, and it's too easy to say everything's shit, You know, way too easy. So start thinking,
Everything's
what?
awesome.
Okay, everything is awesome. Start thinking what you can fucking do. You know,
Exactly.
And I'd really like to try that. It's hard at the moment because you're looking at venues or you're looking to sponsors and things like that. But it'd be something I'll definitely look at next year, possibly now.
Wicked.
It'd be cool to really do. I can see it. I can see it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, and we will do.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Boom.
Nothing else to say.
Fuck all.
Do you want to say anything else to talk about?
Nah.
No, we could go on for fucking ages.
We could do. That's the fucking thing.
It's getting late. But no, thank you very much for doing it, mate. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you so much indeed. I'm sure we'll do another one in the future.
Well, we might do.
Hopefully.
Exactly. Let's fucking do another one.
We'll do another one in the future once this one goes out and I get a bit better at asking questions. Then
yeah, and we learn to fucking control what we're talking about. But I think that's the whole point of it, isn't it? That we just fucking waffle.
I love it. Yeah, exactly.
It's a good job we had a beer. Otherwise, fuck. We'll be in the weeds.
We'll be here until midnight.
Testicles,
wallet and watch.
No fucking wallet and no watch.
Exactly. That's exactly how I got announced as winner at Roadhouse Comp on my first grand final. My first grand final winning.
Are you not?
Ollie Pluck. Spectacles, testicles, wallet and watch. Done that. I was like, thanks, mate. Cheers. Spectacles and testicles. That's me. Fucking brilliant. If you ever see this, Ollie, I don't know if you ever realised that, but that was a crowning moment to that.
Well done, Ollie Pluck. That and then Bird and the Gooch. Remember that we went to went to the fit competition in Italy. Do you remember the competition that never was?
The one that had like $100 grand prize. First prize was
no one got to pay
50, whatever it was. Yeah.
Some shit. And when everyone was moving the whole club around during Nicholas's routine.
Yeah.
Anyway, we all fucking went there for it, and Ollie Pluck said, I filmed it. I fucking wish I still fucking thingied. You never really used to film shit back in the day, or really take photos. It's just like, well, let's just live for the fucking moment, and who cares if we don't remember it or not.
Now
we're not interested, we're just having a great time. Remember that. Tip from the top. Stop filming everything.
Yeah, what was you going to say? Boo to the Gooch or something?
I'm about to do it.
Oh, right, sorry,
so
excuse me.
He fucking sat in the back of the thing and he went, and it was when Jackass was quite big. And he went, my name's Ollie Pluck and this is the Gooch. Fucking whipped his fucking pants down, so he stood there with his balls and his fucking hands out and set fire to his fucking Gooch. Set fire to his Gooch and the flames just went, whoom! And just fucking like that. Absolutely sensational.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was good. It was fucking good times.
What a way to end the fucking podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant.